There are some great new features in this release of RSpec. The first is under Subtract Background. Rather than radio buttons, these are now checkboxes so you can check them both. Click on one or the other or both of them to combine above and below when subtracting the background. Also, as a shortcut, by holding the Control key down and clicking, these boxes behave like radio buttons to allow you to switch back and forth very easily. Also, under Tools Options, in addition to being able to calculate using the mean, we can now calculate the background using the median, which gives somewhat more accurate calculations in certain circumstances. To show the second feature that's in this update, I'm going to select a different image. This is an image of Vega, and what I'm going to do is also open a reference image. I'll select one that I had opened earlier. The enhancement on this screen is that the reference now shows optionally with its own y-axis. That allows you to examine the y-axis for the reference different from the profile. Now, this new checkbox allows you to turn that y-axis off. However, because in this particular example the range is so different, if we do so, that purple reference profile just disappears into the range of the main profile. This next feature allows you to realign a spectrum profile using a calibration you took previously. This might be, for example, if your telescope changed tracking during the evening, or if you took a reference spectrum of a star, suppose Vega, and then you turned your telescope to another object whose spectrum you wanted to calibrate. First, we'll do a standard calibration here on this Vega spectrum as we've seen before. So there's our calibration, and we can see our dispersion of angstroms per pixel is 10.5. That's going to stay the same throughout the evening. What's going to happen is our alignment horizontally is going to change. So let's see how we do that on a second image that we may have taken later in the evening with the same hardware setup. You can see here the zero order is a little bit off of 0 angstroms. We'll use the calibrate function again, but this time just to slide that spectrum horizontally. I click on the 1-point align checkbox here and then go through and identify any particular feature in the spectrum that I know the actual angstroms for. Having done that, when I click on apply and close, you can see the spectrum has aligned horizontally so that zero order image is right over 0 angstroms, and the dispersion hasn't changed at all. So we've just seen how you can use this 1-point alignment to slide a profile graph horizontally so it's lined up exactly with the previous calibration. Also, in this release on the Calibrate screen, we've added these two buttons to allow you to save and then reload a calibration on a subsequent use of the program. There's a new option on the File menu. Under File Export Profile, we've added the export to PNG format. PNG format files are typically considerably smaller than bitmaps, and they don't have any resolution or data loss.